Hello everyone, this is Adam Neary for EBTV. I'm here today at Playhouse 22 with the cast and the director of Eleemosynary, which is going to be playing January 6th to the 14th. Thank you for being here today. Why don't you introduce yourselves, what parts you're playing, and something about yourself. Faith, you go first.
My name is Faith Dowgan. I am playing the role of Dorothea. Something about myself, I live very locally. I live 6 minutes from the theater, and I've been doing community theater in Central New Jersey since I was 15.
Jessie?
Hi, I am Jessie Principali, and I play Artie. And fun fact, I'm usually a musical girl, so this is my first play.
And Michelle?
My name is Michelle Yang. I'm playing Echo, and I have 3 cats.
And Jennifer?
I am Jennifer Moffett. I am the director of Eleemosynary. I have been doing community theater in New Jersey for about 10 years. I'm actually a native Californian, so that's a fun fact about me.
All right, Jennifer, tell us what Eleemosynary is about.
Eleemosynary is a beautiful story about 3 generations of women within one family, the Westbrook family. Dorothea, the matriarch, is a very eccentric, forward-thinking woman, and she has her daughter Artie, who is much more of a constrained individual, and their relationship you come to see throughout the play is a very strained one. Echo, Dorothea's granddaughter, Artie's daughter, ends up being taken care of by Dorothea for most of her life. And it's really just about how, as mothers and as daughters, we connect or don't connect. It's a story about love and abandonment and forgiveness, and really just what it means to come into your own, thinking about where you came from, and taking the good and the bad to become who you're meant to be.
Faith, tell me about your character.
So Dorothea is the sort of the matriarch of everyone. She's Artie's mother, Echo's grandmother, and she is a woman who was born in a time of great constraint, culturally, socially, and has chafed against it forever. And was sort of born before her time, really, and decided it didn't work for her, so she would be something else, no matter what it cost her.
Jessie, what about you?
So Artie is brilliant. She's a biochemist. She was raised kind of under this stifling mother of wanting Dorothea to kind of live Artie's life a certain way. Artie rebels in her own way, always running away, and then eventually leaves her daughter Echo to be raised by Dorothea.
And Michelle, tell me about Echo.
Echo is also brilliant, which she gets from Artie, I think. She is also very strong-willed. She stands on her own a lot. She doesn't have a father. She has an absent mother. She has her grandmother Dorothea, and she's just this independent kid, kind of trying to find her way in the world, and I think she does a pretty good job at it.
Jen, tell me, why is this show so special to you?
That's a tough one. Not a tough one, it's a very emotional one. I worked on this show when I was in college, so a good 20 some odd years ago, and I stage managed it. And at that point in time, I had just lost my grandmother, and very similarly to Echo, my grandmother was my primary caretaker for an early portion of my life while my mother worked. My mom didn't abandon me, but we had always had kind of a tense relationship. I connected with my grandmother very easily, and because of that, and because of how my mother was raised, we didn't have the best relationship. So you see kind of that whole generation of how mothers are supposed to be versus how my mother thought she was supposed to be versus what I wanted as a mother. And so I fell in love with it at a time that all of those pieces connected back to me through each of those characters. And I've just always loved the story, and that's kind of why I wanted to direct it.
Now, Faith, what do you want the audience to get out of this show?
well, I can only speak for myself, obviously, but based on a lot of conversations we've had as a cast with Jennifer, I think something that is very universal about this play is the relationships between parents and children, not necessarily mothers and daughters, but the struggles that we can have between the generations, between one culture, and then each generation has a different culture and they fight against each other, and how much we can want to be doing the right thing and not know until many years later that it wasn't right. And you can only do what you know and do better when you know better. I'm a parent, so it speaks very deeply to me. And of course, I'm also a child. So it's very emotional. And I hope the audience is able to feel as deeply as we are the messages throughout the script.
Jesse, tell me about Artie. How much are you like Artie and how much you're nothing like Artie?
So I could definitely relate to Artie as far as this push and pull that she goes through, where, she has these emotions. She has a very difficult time showing them. She's a very stoic person. She runs away literally from all of her problems. She's constantly moving, but yet she's drawn back in so many ways and can never make this clean break. So I can definitely understand navigating problems and wanting to avoid them, but also being sucked back into them. As far as how I'm not like Artie, I have no memory of things. Artie remembers everything to a fault, and I can't remember what I did this morning. So,
That's good. Now, Michelle, this is your second time being on stage. What type of decisions have you made? What type of lessons have you learned so far in creating Echo?
Yeah, this was crazy. I don't know how Jen trusted me to do this. This is wild. But what kind of decisions did I make? I decided to really study Echo and not embody her right away, but just kind of learn to love her. And I really do. And I was telling Jen this recently, but like throughout the day, I'll be doing something and I'll be like thinking about her, like how she would handle this situation, or what she would pick to wear this day or whatever. And it's just, I feel like it's been easy to make decisions for Echo at this point because I feel like I know her so well.
One thing that's interesting about Echo is you could see the generation of Echo grow. When you literally go from an infant to a grown woman. And I think there's a lot of space that you've had to fill in creating that character.
Yeah.
And I think what I've seen from the show, and I hope the audience will see from the show, is the work that you put in creating that, filling in that gap.
Yeah, I hope so. It's really fun. Yeah. It's fun playing 2-month-old Echo.
And Jen, we're working in a black box space here at Playhouse 22. What makes this space unique and different than our traditional space?
I think that the most special aspect of this space is just the intimacy, that you are able to have the audience within a matter of like a couple of feet from you. In some cases, the audience is less than a foot away from the actors, but it allows you to feed off of their energy a little bit more. It also allows, I think, the audience to connect with the characters. With these smaller black box shows, you are looking at pieces that are far more character driven. So that aspect of seeing the character and feeling with the character or feeling the complete opposite of the character, being in such close proximity kind of gives you that that ability much more easily than when you have the traditional proscenium and you're very distanced from the audience. So it's a really nice space to kind of create that magic.
Thank you all for joining today. Ella Mocenary plays at Playhouse 22, January 6th to the 14th. Shows are Fridays and Saturdays at 8 p.m., Sundays at 2 p.m. General admission tickets are available for $18 at playhouse22.org or the box office 732-254-3939. See you at the Playhouse.